Norwegian brand Windy made its name building high-quality, high-performance boats, and this new 29 Huracan is a perfect example of the breed. It is a classic deep V design powered by a single big petrol or diesel engine, and that should make for a really competent boat through rough water that is fast but also efficient. So we're going to go out into the English Channel, give it a thorough test. My name is Hugo Andreae, you're watching Motorboat and Yachting. Let's go boating. Now, one of the things Windy are known for are the build quality and the details they put into it. And this boat has been designed by a super yacht designer, a Norwegian guy called Espen Oino. And it really shows because of the quality you can see on show here. So everywhere you look around here, we've got handholds, we've got these lovely kind of oval shaped stainless steel rails. They flow neatly into the cleat down here. Even on the sunbed, we've got one here. And again, just when you're stepping up on the bathing ladder, we've got a bathing ladder under here, beautiful teak steps, and then these lovely little stainless steel handles either side of it just for pulling yourself up. There's another little wet locker in there for fenders and lines or wetsuits, and then very nice high quality teak platform. You can see good thickness on the teak here. And then coming forward into the cockpit, this area here acts as both a sunbed and a seating area. So as we make our way forward, you can see we've got this lovely kind of detailed diamond shaped design, a bit like a sort of Bentley seat or something. And then this whole backrest slides forwards and backwards. So it slides all the way back to here to create a nice inward facing sunbed. Feels nice and secure like that. You can have it halfway if you want to sit at the back when you're doing water sports or whatever it is. We've got a tow hook on the back here, or you can go all the way in and then it becomes a backrest for the seating area in the cockpit. Now, nice little walkway forward here. We've got a shower in there, so you can hose down on the bathing platform, tap under there. And then here's another nice detail. This little locker here, really smart. Even the quality of the latches feels really good, but when you lift it up, you can see we've got a fender basket with separate little sort of nettings so that they drain off, but holds them all nice and upright. Even when you've only got one or two in there, they don't fall over and you're left rummaging around to pick them up. Lots of little storage areas. There's a neat one just to tuck some lines. Another one in there, pretty small, but you'll find something to pop in there. And then coming forward into the main cockpit area, again, there's no wasted space at all. We've even got a locker there, that's for the shore power and the manual bilge pump, but really thoughtful to have a special locker for that. Now, very sociable layout in this seating area here. I love the fact that there's a little corner seat on this side too, so you can sit all the way around. And then let me show you something else. If I lift up this engine hatch, this is all on an electric switch. Makes it incredibly easy. You're not sweating around trying to lift heavy things or move furniture. It just comes straight up. And now we can see a number of other clever features going on here. That's probably high enough, but first up you can see we've got a full bimini cover. This pulls up and over, and then we've got another little tensioning switch there, so you pull it up manually and then tension it using that switch there. Engine hatch, fantastic good access to the engine itself. You can see you can step down into there. You can work your way all the way around, get to every part of the engine. Raw water strainer there. We've got a hot water calorifier over on that side. But also, look here, we've got a table that just slots into place in the middle there. And there's even a special place for the teak tabletop that just slides in and out of that. These are the kind of details that make the difference. The other thing I want to point out is just how much sound deadening there is on this. It makes a huge difference. You wouldn't believe it. When you close the hatch down, it completely kills the engine noise. So that table sits in the middle here. It's got leaves on it, so it folds out. You can have it facing either way, but you've got a lovely sociable area with seating on all 4 sides of it. Another big hatch under here. Really useful size hatch for covers. You could probably just about get a wakeboard in there. Actually, I think it's probably a little bit shallow for that, but easy, good place for lines and so on. Got another little one in here. This is access, really good access to the fuel tank if you need to get to the sender or clean it out. Very nice to see we've got that there. Seats themselves, I'm slightly in 2 minds about these. They look really cool and they do give you a number of decent options, and when you're sat down it's very nice and secure. You are nice and low, you can see through the windscreen, so the wind comes up and over the head. Also good to see that we've got the throttle lever on a little plinth, so it's brought nice and close to you. You've got some fore and aft adjustment on the seat. It will also spin round. You've also got adjustment of the steering wheel. It does bolster up like that, and that kind of works, but for my particular height, I'm pretty much exactly 6 foot, that leaves this windscreen rail right in my eye line, which is a little bit of a bore. So the temptation is to stand up, and then you've got really good vision, but then you're lacking anything to brace yourself against here. And because this is such a quick boat and such a capable boat, it would be nice somehow to be able to wedge yourself into some kind of hip support that would just hold you in place here. Other than that, really good helm station. This is a lovely detail I always enjoy on windows. They've put an extra grab rail around the inside of the windscreen. Again, it's just good quality stuff. It feels special, and it means you've always got something to hang on to. That is where the compass goes, exactly where it should be. Bow thruster, that is optional. We've got Humphrey Lightning trim tabs on here, so auto trim tabs, really effective. And it's actually a keyless ignition, so you just have a little fob and then you've got stop and start under there. Got a Fusion sound system, decent cup holder, and good to see there's a little space under here too to tuck sunglasses or covers for the chart plotter and so on. Now, access to the foredeck is up these steps here, and that's just a straight step up and through. Again, really good quality stainless steel and hinges, and there's a really good thick rubber stopper on there to hold it when you're got it opened up like that. Foredeck, nice and flat, non-slip everywhere, and there is an electric windlass and anchor system under there with up and down either side of it. Couple of windscreen wipers with washers, again, really good details. And I've just spotted from here, in fact, there is also a little hot air vent, so you can stop the windscreen misting up. Good grippy teak steps up and down, and of course there come those handholds again. Over on this side we've got a couple of details that are worth pointing out. This seat is a match for the helm seat. Now this will in fact swivel round. I'm not going to do it now, but essentially this backrest lifts up, this seat swivels round, links up with that, and then you've got a nice little chaise longue arrangement just on this side here. Got another cup holder there. You can see one of those Fusion speakers, and in fact a USB socket. Yep, it is a USB socket for charging phones and so on. And then we've got access down to the cabin area over on this side. One more thing whilst I'm here. If I lift that up, you can see there is in fact a fridge down here. Now, not the largest or most accessible I've ever seen, but crucially it will stand several bottles of white wine, or more probably champagne, upright in there, as well as a little shelf for your beers on the other side. So they've really thought of everything on that front. And then sliding hatch down into the cuddy cabin. Now, this being a sports boat, there's not a lot of space down here, but you have got all the key facilities. So there's a little Wallace cooking hob there. We've got drawers under here for the bin. We've got drawers under here for the cutlery. We've got a little sink and tap. There's some nice windows all around. Lots more storage all the way around here and indeed all the way around the bed. A little bit tight for headroom under here, but it is long enough. Obviously I'd normally sleep the other way round with my head up that end, but you can see there's a decent length. It's very nicely finished all the way around. Storage lockers, nice soft touch padding, and little underlit LEDs all the way around, as well as these two windows here. But arguably more importantly, it has a separate heads compartment. Now, it's not the largest of heads compartments, but you have got enough space to sit down. You've got headroom overhead. You've got a decent toilet under here. There's a sink over on this side. It's all very nicely finished with a marble top. We've got a bit of natural light. We've got mirrored cupboards up above. We've got more lockers underneath. And of course, crucially, you've got privacy. So it may not be the biggest, but it has got all the key essentials. Right, time for a little play, I think. So we have a 440 horsepower Volvo D6 stern drive, nice and low in the boat, and a really good, torquey, powerful engine. With that deep V hull, should make for quite a potent cocktail. So let's give it a go. We're in gear, we're straightened up, we've got automatic trim tabs on. Let's give it everything. Okay, so starts to get going, and then whoa, there go my shades. Well, that's a good start. It blew my shades off straight away. Let's try again. Okay, so it takes a little bit of time before the turbo kicks in, and then when that gets going, it really starts to fly. But it's a lovely, smooth 6-cylinder engine. Just feels superb. And we've got quite a decent chop here, but it just crests over those waves beautifully. We're up to 42 knots. Oh, a nice little bit of air there, and again. It just flies so beautifully. Right, so let's pick a spot to turn around, see how it grips. Very nice, not too extreme. It's almost as if the steering is limiting the angle a little bit, but that just makes it a bit gentler, a bit more secure, means it's nice and easy to trust. Let's wind it up again, lift that drive a little bit, get a bit more speed. 42 knots. Beautiful. And when you're sat down, you get such good protection from the screen. It really works a treat. But then if you want to get a bit more involved, you can stand up, put it into one of those hard turns, bring the drive in. Really good grip. That feels like everything a Windy should do. You've got that big, powerful Volvo engine providing plenty of grunt. Really nice and smooth because of that 6-cylinder design. It's not too lumpy or thumpy at idle, or when you're putting the power on, it's lovely and smooth. And it goes on to a good speed, probably in flatter water without the tide. I'm guessing you're going to do 43, 44 knots. But it just feels so secure. And because of that nice low centre of gravity, it handles beautifully too. I've been out and had a good play in the rough, and just as I hoped, it's a really capable hull. It'll take the waves very nicely, so long as you keep it nice and flat rather than landing on the chines, then it's a really soft ride. But now the evening is coming on, the sea has flattened off, and we've got a perfect opportunity to really see what it can do from a performance perspective. So let's wind up those revs. Now you can hear that big 6-cylinder engine really throaty, but because it's so well insulated in that engine bay, it's not irritating at all. But what is very distinctive is just what happens when the turbo kicks in, because when I put the throttle down, it waits a bit and then off it starts to go. And that's when the torque really builds. And it's just so persistent. It's not crazy fast, it's not like a petrol engine, but it just keeps on going. And it just feels utterly effortless. It's smooth, it's quiet, and that hull just has a lovely, long-legged kind of lope to it. So we're already doing 42 knots. If I trim up that drive a little bit, get it going a bit faster. So look at that, it's utterly effortless. We're doing 43 knots, we're burning 83 litres an hour, and we're still doing 0.5 nautical miles per litre. But let's see how it handles. I'll trim it in a little bit, ease off the speed, and we're going to turn to port. So we're still doing 43 knots. Look at that. It's absolutely creaming across the surface, gripping perfectly, not straining the engine, not straining the hull. It just feels so in its element. Just throw it around a little bit, show you what it can do. We're still flat out. And you've just got all the reassurance in the world. Now clearly it helps that we've got fairly calm weather, but it's still a magical feeling. And let me just ease it off a little bit and talk you through some of the fuel figures as well, because you can cover such good distance on this boat. So here we are doing a very comfortable 35 knots, 3,000 RPM, burning 56 litres an hour for a return of 0.6 nautical miles per litre. And you could just hoover up the miles like this. If you want to get even better fuel economy, we'll drop the speed a little bit further. Let's do 2,600 RPM. We're still doing 30 knots. Now we're burning 40 litres an hour and getting 0.7 nautical miles per litre. Now this thing holds 400 litres. So at 0.7 nautical miles per litre, you've got an easy 220, 250 miles from a full tank, even with some reserve built in. And if I ease it down a little bit more, maybe take it to 24, 25 knots, and now we're getting 0.8 nautical miles per litre. So you've just got this wonderfully broad cruising range. You can pick your speed, you can go as fast or as slow as you want. You're not going to pay a heavy penalty at the pumps. And then when you want to have a bit of fun, easy as you like, put the hammer down, wait for that turbo to kick in. There we go, we're off again, lift up the trim, maybe take it to 3-4 degrees, and then you've got this lovely, almost kind of flying feeling. You can see it's just gently lifting up and down over the waves. I've got my hands off the wheel, 3,500 RPM, 42 knots. What could be easier? So much fun. I could do this all day. Oh, hang on. Hey! Look at that. Full circle. Straighten it up to go through the wash. Just beautiful. Probably not quite so much fun for you, bouncing around in the passenger seat, but here at the helm, with that brace position, there is just enough support to keep me locked in place. If I want to go lower, really kick back, then I've got the air going over my head at this speed. It's a little bit of a compromised view, but I can always use those trim tabs to put the bow down a bit and improve the view. I'm guessing it's going to be no great surprise to learn that this is not a cheap boat. Now, the starting price is around about £228,000. This particular model with all the kit on it and that big diesel engine is about £286,000, including VAT. But then when you're buying into Windy, you're buying into quality, and on this occasion it really feels like it. There's the build quality itself, there's the fact it feels really strong and solid, there's all those lovely details, but particularly there's that hull, and the combination of a hull that gives you the confidence to go out, to have fun with a big diesel engine so that you've got the range, the reliability and the fuel economy to really go distance makes a massive difference. So to me, is it worth that money? Hell yes, I reckon it's worth every penny of it.